Classic WoW is not a race, it's a marathon. These are words I stand by, and today I will explain to you what I mean with this. You see, Classic is going to come out in a couple of months, and like many other players, I'm anxious to get to max level and drown my character in a ton of epics for the awesome crits and the bragging rights when I stroll through my capital city.
Good.
Yet, all that seems very far away when you log in for the first time and start your journey. While the level cap is much lower than BFA, leveling itself goes a lot slower. No heirlooms, no XP boosts, no recruit a friend, no random dungeon finder with little bags and bonus XP at the end. Your mana depletes much quicker, and mowing down packs of mobs is for many not possible. This means that the pace is very slow compared to retail, and it means that going up even one level can take a lot of time.
Obviously.
All these factors can demotivate you when you're constantly fixated on the max level stuff. And here's my tip. Don't focus on it. Trust me, this is not a private server, so chances are a rating on your server, or just your server in general, is not going to go away anytime soon. And looking at level 60 when you're only level 27, and having such a long road ahead of you, is not exactly a good way to level up. You see, Classic WoW, like I said, is a marathon, not a race. And like a marathon, you need to set smaller goals for yourself, rather than one or two really large ones. Make it so every hour, half hour, or whatever, you can check something off of your to-do list. So, here's an example of how I would set up my own personal leveling journey, so to say.
I didn't do any of this motherfucking bullshit, man. I log on, I get 60. I log on, I get 60. I think of one motherfucking thing. I don't even care about gear. Like, I play with somebody else and gear doesn't matter as much. I get 60. That was my one fucking goal. All my friends were in the town, leveling up their professions, talking with each other, having fucking fun. I wasn't having any fun because I was a warrior. I was level 36. I was dual wielding, and I had Mortal Strike, or I guess maybe a little bit higher level than that. But I was fucking terrible. And I sat there and I leveled all the way through because that was the only fucking thing that I wanted to do. That was the main focus that I had. Professions were a waste of my fucking time. I could buy the gear. Leveling up first aid was the only thing that I really cared about. And at that point, I would just eat food because then I could tab out and watch porn for 30 seconds while the food, increased my health. I did not give a fuck about this. I was sprinting every goddamn day. That's the way I play games.
And the many goals I try to set. So each time you get a little bit further, it might seem like you're still miles away from level cap, but you've once again marked something off your checklist.
Right.
Let's say we're talking about a troll mage. You log in and start leveling. The first goal you can set for yourself is to get out of the starting zone. Alright, so you got to level 6 and you've done all the quests. So now what? Well, now you should head out and grab your first professions, like herbalism and alchemy, mining and blacksmithing, etc. Your next goal can be to get to level 10, because at level 10 you will get your first talent point.
This would make me so mad because my mom played like this. Like, she would be herbing, and she'd be level 42. I'd be like, Mom, you're not 60. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm having fun. Well, quit it, Mom. Speaking of that, actually remind me about that, about like my mom getting 60 after the video, okay? I have something to say about that.
And you should be high enough level to head out to the crossroads, for instance. Once you've accomplished that, it's time for the next goal, level 13. Because level 13 is the minimum level that you need to enter your first ever dungeon, Ragefire Chasm. Once you've done that dungeon and the quests, you should have a chunk of experience under your belt and start making your way to level 17 or so. While leveling to level 17, you can pick up the Forgotten Pools quest at the crossroads. It's a question that will involve you eventually killing the bosses in the Wailing Caverns, which for most people will mean their first blue weapon, as both the staff and the sword are insanely good at lower level.
That staff actually
Once you get to level 17, it's time to actually do the Wailing Caverns depending on your class and get that cool weapon. How about this for a crazy challenge? See if you and your friends can actually make it to Westfall as Hordes and clear the dead mines. And if you're Alliance, you can do the same with the Wailing Caverns. Next goal for you can be Shadowfen Keep, which for some people is doable at level 19, so again, that's only 2 levels away from the minimum level you needed to join the Wailing Caverns.
I stopped doing dungeons. At like level 25, I stopped doing them. Here was the problem. Here was the problem with dungeons. Is that they would take too goddamn motherfucking long. Whereas, like, I don't want to have anybody slowing me down. I don't want to have anybody wasting my fucking time. I want to be going from point A to point B as fast as fucking possible. Okay, and like as soon as I realized that, I would maybe do a dungeon if I was in the area, and I would just quest. And if people made me sit around, I would fucking leave. Like I was honestly, I was probably the most motivated person to like get 60 that there ever has been. Zoomer, you're goddamn right. Like, you think I want to sit around and waste my fucking time? No, I'm there for a reason. I'm there for the fucking loot. Like, that was the only thing that I cared about. And I would play like that. I still play like that, honestly. Like, I want to go in, get in there, pop the fuck off, and then get the fuck out. That's the way I play the games. Realize people didn't make the same... What was this here? Make the same dungeons faster? People... No. And see, like, I would try to tank. I would try to do Mythic Plus dungeons, challenge mode, speedrun dungeons in Burning Crusade, in vanilla WoW. And if somebody was too slow, I kick them the fuck out. I get somebody else. And then I end up wasting more time because then, you know, it'd take forever to have them get over there. And that was actually a huge headache. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things. See, here's the thing, right? Is that for a person like me, you would think that BFA would be better, right? Or Legion would be better. But truthfully, the ability to operate in a more open environment and make the decisions and choices on my own was more meaningful to me than just having a system that already reinforces what I already wanted to do. Because I like the idea of being able to do dead mines in 20 minutes, but now whenever it's part of the game, it's not as impressive and it's just like, it's weird.
After that, the goal can be level 20, because for some classes you'll get your first speed bonus. Shamans get Ghost Wolf, Hunters get Aspect of Cheetah, Druids can start putting talents of Feline Swiftness, and well, this mage, he gets Blink. Technically not a speed bonus, but since you can blink forward, it makes traveling on foot a little faster, so you know what I mean.
Right.
After that, you can focus on zones like Ashenville, a bit more of Stone Talon Mountains, and Hillsbrad Foothills. Perhaps you want to get that War Song Sash from that ever so challenging War Song Supplies quest. And a little later down the line, you can start doing Black Fathom Deeps. A few more levels later, and we can start doing stuff in Thousand Needles. Get a group together to do that escort quest at the Grim Totem place. Maybe after that, you can get a group going for Razorfin Crawl and try clearing that. Or you can get some people together to farm Scarlet Graveyard. A very short dungeon that knows 3 rare mobs that all drop some seriously good gear, like the items you see on the screen right now.
True.
These items will give you a major boost in your damage, so doing a couple of farm runs means that you might just get your hands on one of these. That, and by the time you get to level 30, most classes start unlocking some really cool abilities, so you have that to look forward to. Things like Travel Form for Druids, Feign Death for Hunters, Wind Fury Weapon or Chain Lightning for Shamans level 32, and if you leveled your professions, you can start gathering materials to craft some seriously good gear for your level. Think about the Robe of Power for Tailors, a blue robe with some nice spell damage, and since spell damage is very scarce in lower levels,
really good. Holy
it means this will give you the edge over someone that didn't bother going for this robe. Then at some point in your 30s, you can start risking your life in Stranglethorn Vietnam and see if you can rack up on some honorable kills. Maybe take a break from leveling and try to get that Private or Grunt PvP rank, so you can get yourself that PvP trinket very early on to trick some unassuming players. After a couple of levels, let's say at level 38, you can try and go back to do those elite quests you saw in the Arathi Highlands at Stromgarde Keep. I mean, they were undoable when you just set foot in the Arathi Highlands as a level 32, but now that you're stronger, it might be doable with a few other people. And after you got your mount, maybe now you're brave enough to try an Ultimate run, which means you're running all the way from the Arathi Highlands to the Badlands. A very time-consuming process, but it involves you going from Arathi to the Wetlands, to Loch Modan, and then finally into the Badlands. Think about how cool it would be if you're a dwarf, you're level 14 in Loch Modan, and out of nowhere you see some horde dude strolling by on his mount because he's going to Uldaman. The possibilities are endless in vanilla, and I've only talked about a fraction of the amazing things you can accomplish and experience.
There's a moment that will always live in my mind. I had done dead mines with a warlock. We were both the same level. Later on, I'm walking inside Booty Bay, and at the maw of the gate where like the two guys are at, the opening to go into Booty Bay, that same warlock was sitting there in front of me, level 40 on a mount. I was like level 34 or 33. I felt like the biggest loser imaginable. I literally felt like I felt like shit because this guy had done all this other stuff and I didn't do any of it. That day I played 12 hours. The next day I played 12 hours. The day after that I played 12 hours. And after a while I got to level 40. And I got my mount too.
In Classic WoW,
free mount,
from level 1 to your early 40s. And level 60 is still a long haul away, but there was already so much fun to be had. Fun where the main focus is not fixated around getting to level 60, but
Right.
taking the leveling marathon just step by step. And because of these smaller steps, we're not worried about reaching level cap ASAP, getting our pre-raid bis gear and whatnot. We're focused on all the great things we accomplish along the way, like completing your first dungeon run, or getting a screenshot with your low-level friends at Aragol's corpse, helping some guy kill Quailboars in the Barrens,
Yeah, we do that.
passing fellow adventurers along the way and throwing them
It's a
an
nice
arcane
picture.
intellect,
I like that.
while a druid throws you a Mark of the Wild buff. That's how I would recommend you approach vanilla. Take it one step at a time and enjoy every single step that you take. Don't be focused on the very far away. Focus on the right now and soon to be. And you'll find your leveling from 1 to 60 to be much less of a grind and much more of an epic journey. So yeah, I thought I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope I was able to make my point, as I'd like to just remind people to not get so hyper focused around the level 60 stuff and enjoy the leveling. Because leveling's half the fun if you ask me. Alright guys, that's all for today. I'm Hamsterwheel and, as always, have a good one.
Now, I'll be honest. The way I play games, like the way I play WoW, like that is kind of true. Like, I'm the one that plays it in a weird way. Like, I'm the one that's super over serious and, you know, I just get like fucking, like, that's the way that I am. Mom hitting 60 story. So, recently, my mom's video about her hitting level 60 has gone viral. And the video of her has almost 1 million views. 1 million views. She is now the most watched video on my entire YouTube channel. I'm a little bit embarrassed, honestly. Because, like, now it's like, you know, my mom has more views than I do. This is, you know, I don't even, what do you even say about that? I don't even fucking know. But, yeah, there it is, dude. So I wanted to show you, yeah, I sound different? Yeah, it's because I was 16 years old, man. I was a fucking kid back then. Like, yeah, of course I was different.